Hello friends, myself Mrunali Patil, Assistant Professor at SVKM's Institute of Pharmacy, Dhule. Friends, today in this video I am going to talk about H1 antagonist, or you can say anti-allergic agent. So before discussing about anti-allergic agents, I would like to talk about allergy. So topic outline for the today's lecture is Introduction to Allergy, then chemical basis of histamine, its release and the role of histamine in the allergy, followed by antihistaminic drugs, their classification, structure activity relationship, mode of action, clinical uses and adverse effects. So friends, let's begin with introduction to allergy. So allergy is defined as it is an overreaction to immune system to a normally harmless substance which is called as antigen or allergen. That antigen or allergen interacts with antibodies present on the mast cells. So how allergens are defined? So allergen may be defined as it is an antigen substance that causes allergic symptoms when it interacts with antibodies present on the cells. Allergen may be pollen grain, venom injected by insect bite, certain type of food. It may be any drugs or medication which also act as an antigen in some cases. Anaphylaxis or allergic reactions are believed to arise from activation of mast cell and basophils. Generally, anaphylactic reactions involves antigen-antibody interaction which causes the release of histamine. So we will talk about release of histamine from the mast cell. Consider this is a mast cell. Mast cell contain granules which are filled with histamine molecules. On the surface of this cell, antibodies are present. When allergen or you can say antigen comes into contact with antibodies, both are interact with each other, and the interaction of allergen and antibody results into degranulation of histamine molecules. So degranulation of these histamine molecules is responsible for release of histamine from the mast cell. Now this release histamine interacts with its receptor such as H1 receptor, H2 receptor, H3 receptor and H4 receptors. So interaction of histamine to various kinds of its receptors is responsible for role of histamine into allergic conditions. So the role of histamine summarized in various types like vasodilation, vascular permeability. It also plays important role in the pain pathway. It is also responsible for immune suppression, gastric acid secretion from parietal cell. Sometimes histamine is also involved into a bronchoconstriction process. So allergic reactions of histamine can be summarized as eczema, hives, hay fever, asthma attacks, food allergies, pruritus and urticaria. Many mild allergic reactions like hay fever are highly prevalent in the humans and they causes allergic symptoms like allergic conjunctivitis, itchiness and runny nose. So in the treatment of such kind of allergic conditions, we are using antihistaminic drugs. So let's begin with antihistaminic drug. So before talking about antihistaminic drug, I would like to highlight again the role of histamine. So you can read the role of histamine on this slide. Now, what is antihistamines? So the term antihistamine only refers to H1 receptor antagonist. In other language, antihistamines can be defined as a drug that reduces or eliminates the effects mediated by chemical histamine. Sometimes H1 antagonists are also defined as these are those agents which inhibits the binding of histamine to H1 receptor. It means that antihistamine is a restricted term for H1 receptor antagonist. Classification of antihistaminic drug is like they are classified into two types, first generation agent and second generation agent. First generation drugs are also known as classical antihistaminic drugs, and first generation agents are subdivided into five categories like ethylene diamine derivatives, aminoalkyl ether derivatives, monoaminopropyl derivatives, cyclic basic chain analogues, phenothiazine derivatives. First generation agent, or you can say classical antihistaminic drug, has a side effect, that is sedation, because all of these classical antihistaminic drugs tend to cross blood-brain barrier. Hence, they are able to cause sedation at central nervous system. Over the first line drug, or you can say first generation agent, second generation drugs do not have the side effect like sedation, because this second generation agent does not cross blood brain barrier, hence they do not cause sedation as their side effect. Second generation agent are classified into two types, piperazine derivatives and piperidine derivatives. So friends, in the next slide we will discuss the chemistry of first generation agent and second generation agent in detail. So first generation agent, the first type from this category is ethylene diamine derivative. As you see on the slide, under the ethylene diamine derivative title, there are four structures like methapyrilene, tripylamines, pyrilamine and tonzilamine. So all this ethylene diamine derivative type of drug has a similarity. What is that similarity? They contain ethylene bridge which is placed in between two nitrogen. Hence, this is a structural feature of this category, that is ethylene bridge which is present in between two nitrogen. Hence the name ethylene diamine. So you can see the specific structure in this compound that is highlighted with this color is that ethylene diamine chain. Second one from this category is aminoalkyl ether. So in the aminoalkyl ether type of category, you can see ethylene chain is placed in between oxygen and nitrogen, which is shown with a blue color. As like above two categories, here third category is also present, that is phenothiazine derivatives. So in phenothiazine derivatives, basic chain or basic ring phenothiazine, which is highlighted with a red color, makes this compound specific to categorize into a phenothiazine derivative. So this ring is highlighted with a red color. In continuation to first generation agent, I would like to discuss remaining two categories like monoaminopropyl derivative. So monoaminopropyl derivative contains propyl side chain along with amino group. So here under the monoaminopropyl derivative category, you can see this monoaminopropyl chain is highlighted with a red color. So this is a structural characteristic of this drug. Likewise, cyclic basic chain analog are also known as piperazine or cyclizine, because some of the cyclic basic chain analog contains piperazine as their basic nucleus. So you can see here this piperazine and cyclizine are highlighted with a dotted line. So you can see all of them on this slide. So this is all about first generation agent, or you can say classical antihistaminic compounds. Likewise, second generation drugs are divided into two categories, piperidine derivative and piperazine derivative. So second generation antihistaminic are the drugs which has lower sedation potential, but they are more selective towards their target, that is H1 receptor. So when we classify this drug into piperidines and piperazine, obviously piperidine derivative contains a piperidine as basic nucleus, whereas piperazine contains piperazine moiety as their basic nucleus. You can see here under the category piperazine there are two structures, levocetrizine and cetrizine. So this levocetrizine is a S isomer of cetrizine. So these are the active drugs against many allergic conditions. So till now we discussed about allergy, role of histamine, classification of antihistamine drug and their chemistry. Now we will talk about structure activity relationship of H1 antagonist drugs. So the basic structure of H1 antagonist type of drug is divided into four types. So this basic structure consists of four parts which are shown with different kind of color. So the aryl group is shown with red color, X compound or you can say X atom is shown with black color, alkyl chain which is highlighted with a pink color, and terminal nitrogen portion is highlighted with a blue color. We will use these colors to distinguish each of these part whenever we learn into a coming slide structure activity relationship. So let's begin with aryl group. So here that aryl group can be phenyl or it may be a heteroaromatic ring. As you see in the structure of triphenylamine, aryl group are heteroaromatic ring along with a phenyl ring. Likewise, in the structure of doxylamine, it is also contain one heteroaromatic ring along with one phenyl ring. So any substitution on aryl ring decreases the antihistaminic activity. And aryl dash can be methyl, it may be any heteroaromatic ring. Second point from the structure activity relationship or you can say SAR is nature of X. The nature of X, that means this X atom provides a chemical basis of classification of antihistaminic drugs. So isosteric replacement of atom X gives a series of compounds. It means that whenever as we differ this X moiety, we will got various kinds of chemical classification of antihistaminic compound, such as when we put oxygen as a X atom, we will got a category amino alkyl ether. When we put X as a nitrogen, we will got category that is ethylene diamine. When we put X as a carbon, we will get a category monoaminopropyl derivative. So here one example of each category is shown. So when X is an oxygen atom, then amino alkyl ether will form, and the example here is diphenhydramine. When X is a nitrogen atom, then pyrilamine will form, which is from ethylene diamine category. When X is a carbon atom, monoaminopropyls will be there, and the example of monoaminopropyl is chlorpheniramine. So I hope you have understood this point very well. Let's discuss about third point, that is alkyl chain. The alkyl chain portion is highlighted with pink color. So it is nothing but a ethylene chain. So first point of SAR state that under this point ethylene chain is essential for activity. Branching of this ethylene chain causes less active compounds. And last point from structure activity relationship is terminal nitrogen. The terminal nitrogen portion is shown by blue color. So it should be tertiary amine for maximum activity. Diethylamine derivative are found to have better activity. The terminal nitrogen can be cyclized into the ring. So here interesting point to note that many antihistaminic drug has a close resemblance with anticholinergic drug. Hence many antihistaminic drug do exhibit anticholinergic activity and vice versa. So this is all about structure activity relationship of classic antihistaminic drugs. Let's discuss about mechanism of action of antihistamines. So classical antihistaminic agents block H1 receptor and they inhibit the binding of histamine to H1 receptor only by competitive antagonism. So this is a mechanism of action of these antihistaminic drugs. So I ask you to stop the video and write down or list down various clinical uses and adverse effects of antihistaminic drugs. So I hope you have summarized their clinical uses and adverse effects of antihistaminic drugs. So clinical uses of antihistamines are as follows. They are used in the treatment of allergic rhinitis such as common cold. They are also used in the treatment of allergic conjunctivitis, allergic dermatological conditions, urticaria. They are also used in the treatment of angioedema, which is nothing but a swelling of the skin. They are also used in the treatment of itching, or you can say pruritus, and they are commonly used in the treatment of many anaphylactic reactions. In the treatment of nausea and vomiting, specifically first generation antihistamines, or you can say classical antihistamines, are preferred. Major adverse effect of H1 antihistamine is sedation. This sedation as a side effect is caused due to their lack of selectivity for the H1 receptor, and lack of selectivity for H1 receptor makes this first generation H1 antihistamine to target or to have affinity towards their non-target proteins such as muscarinic, adrenergic and serotonergic receptors. So these sedation as a side effect are due to CNS depression by crossing blood-brain barrier, and these include dizziness, tinnitus, blurred vision, euphoria, sometimes anxiety, tremor, dry mouth or dry cough. Likewise, newer second generation H1 antihistamines are more selective for the peripheral histamine receptor and they have far less side effect. They do not cross blood-brain barrier and they have very low sedation potential as compared to first generation H1 receptors, and second generation H1 antihistamine sometime in some patient causes fatigue, headache, nausea and dry mouth. So this is all about antihistaminic drug. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you like this video, please share, subscribe and like the video. Thank you.